Yo guys, Augiesaint here and welcome to the channel. Hope you guys are doing fantastic, and I want to talk to you guys about the Mystic Maze. Once you get to trial rank 60, it is the best way to farm coins. You're looking at close to 6 million coins per hour once you actually figure out how to do the runs, and that's what I want to talk about in this video. Nobody actually talks about how to get through the maze, like the best character to use, what doors to go after, what perks to pick. So I'm going to explain all of that in this video. But the TLDR, as you guys can see in the background, if you know me, you know I love my spreadsheets. We have gone and mapped it out for you guys. You want to be running 210% and you want to be using Lady Niffle. She must be I6. You don't need the bow because we did a run over there with Lady Niffle, just using her straight up as she is, Niffle's skill. No bows, no weapons, no nothing. And that run over there is pretty much tied to the one with the bow. The bow one got a little bit more, but that's only because of the randomness of the difference in traces. That's going to be roughly the same, so you don't even need the bow. The only investment you do need, I6 Lady Niffle, and then what you want to do is you want to go for the blue doors only. You want to skip the shop in the yellow doors, and the only time you take the yellow doors is there is no blue doors. You skip the boss challenges, and you also skip the turret minigame. And that's it. You just take I6 Lady Niffle and you follow the rule over here, and there you go. TLDR. If that helped you out, please drop a sub on the channel. Helps me out a lot. But for everyone else sticking around, I'm going to break it down into more detail, and I'm going to show you guys a full run at the end of the video as well, so you can skip ahead to any of that using the timestamps down below on the video. Without further ado, let's get down into the full breakdown. So if we can have a look at the Mystic Maze, if you go there to start running it, once you get to trial rank 60 and you actually unlock the level 80 version, there is this thing over here we can choose different points. Now the modifiers you want to be using on it is you pretty much just max out all the modifiers. You can see there you can like increase and decrease what these things actually do, and then it's going to increase your bonus trace points. Now running it at the 210% is the most consistent and the fastest way to do it. You could go ahead and slap all of these on to get a much bigger boost, but the runs are going to be slower, and then you're going to get less threads of times per hour because you're doing less runs per hour. You'll get more at one time. So maybe if you just need a big chunk of gold like right away, just go do a maxed out one. You can fully max this out all the way up to 300%. And then you can get yourself a big chunk of coins, and then you can just, you know, go do whatever you want. But this is the ones that I recommend doing it for farming. So the ones that I recommend to turn off is the Domain of Stagnation. That just decreases your attack. Domain of the Malignant Growth, this increases enemy HP, and then the Domain of Numbness, this decreases the enemy's damage taken. So those three over there can add quite a bit to your runs, especially if you don't get any good lamp wicks and stuff on the way up. Because if you scroll all the way down, we are taking Domain of Folly, and this says all choices become randomized. So you can't choose anything in the run anymore, except for once you get to the shop in the yellow doors, then you can actually go ahead and purchase what you want. But everything else, once you complete a stage or something, the lamp wicks you get, they will always pick them at random. You don't get to choose them, but this one does add a massive modifier. See, if we take it off, you do lose quite a bit to your modifier. And once you have Lady Niffle at I6, she doesn't really care about anything. She just goes ahead and ruffle stomps anything. So that is the setup you want to choose over there. Obviously, you confirm that, you start that, and you get put into the maze. But then what I want to talk about is what you actually want to be running. So for starters, you're gonna have to get yourself a Lady Niffle at Intron 6. I know that might sound like a lot initially, but by this point you should be trial rank 60 and you should have quite a bit of secret letters saved up, unless you were Intron 60ing other characters on the way up to trial rank 60. I myself didn't really Intron farm any other characters until now, but you could also use Psyche at Intron 2. She gets similar results, but with her it's more inconsistent, because if she gets shafted with like bad lamp picks and stuff, she'll start to struggle, especially when you get to bosses and you're not full HP and sanity to maintain her ult. She's going to struggle quite a bit if you get bad runs, whereas Lady Niffle, she does not care what lamp works you get. You can literally go in there without any lamp picks and she would still just destroy everything. She doesn't care. She just destroys everything in her path once she is at Intron 6. And then the range weapon you want to take with her is the Embler Inflorescence, or you could even use the Entropic Singularity, because your demon wedges and stuff don't count inside the Mystic Maze. So the only thing that you're going to be getting from these weapons is their actual special effects, their weapon skills. So you see you get the skill range with this one. This one gives you a massive amount of trigger probability. So basically this one should theoretically be better, because the whole thing with Lady Niffle once she's I6 is the trigger probability on range weapons. Go ahead and like actually proc her abilities. However, if we go back and we look at the spreadsheet, we did a run over there using Lady Niffle only with her skills. We did one using only the bow. We used those skills on the boss. It was his stomp on the boss. We also did one using the pistol, stomp on the boss. And as you can see, the difference over there between the bow and just using straight up her skills is actually like no difference at all. The time difference over there was barely anything. But then using only the pistol, that added like a whole minute to the run. So the pistol is quite a bit weaker in there, although we didn't run multiple runs testing out the pistol, so maybe we just had a bad run on that one. But the average on the Lady Niffle when you're using her skills and you're just throwing in the bow every now and then is going to be around the 720 mark. As you see, once we'll play through the run at the end of the explanation. Using her skills, you don't need the bow. Obviously, you can use the bow if you want. And then the skill range from that is also going to be nice because that like boosts into her damage on how her skills actually work. And then the Wane Wraith for the skill damage, you want to be using that over the katana because the conversion in range to actual skill damage I think is less than just getting raw skill damage. Somebody in chat explained it to me. I can't remember exactly what they said, but the Wane Wraith did seem to make our runs better, so we will be focusing on our skills. And you don't obviously need to have smelt 3, but the higher the smelt, the more skill damage you get, so the better it's going to be overall. Again, demon wedges don't matter. The only thing that matters in the maze is going to be the actual weapon skills. And then the Genimon you want to be running is going to be one of these ball bees, because you see it increases the lumino attack for the main character by 1.2%. The demon wedges don't really matter because demon wedges don't take effect in the Mystic Maze. But then what's really good about this is up top here, it deals lumino damage equal to a lot of the main character's attack to enemies within range and increases the skill damage taken by them by 3.6% for 10 seconds. That tiny little damage over there is going to be quite decent. We don't have ours leveled up or anything. I was actually using this guy in my runs you saw in the video, so I only had the lumino attack. I read this guy wrong. Over there it says it decreases their damage dealt, so this makes the bosses deal less damage. And as you'll see in the run at the end, we were using this guy, so we could have been a little bit faster on the bosses by using a ball bee and making them take some more damage. I'm going to go ahead and level up my ball bee. I can actually ascend it. We have a couple over there. Would be nice to get a shiny, but it is what it is. Genimons are a pain in the butt, so it doesn't really matter which Genimon you use, but if you want to min-max it and get as much damage as possible, make sure you get yourself a little ball bee. So that's everything you need to go ahead and complete these maze runs. Now let's actually talk a little bit about some tips and tricks of actually getting through the maze. The main thing is you want to be using this as your strategy to actually get through the maze. So word for word, blue doors only. I think the first 2 levels are red doors, so there are no blue doors. Once the blue doors appear, you want to start taking them only, make them your main priority. And then if there is no blue doors, there'll usually be a red or a yellow door. In that case, you want to take the yellow door, but you skip the shops in the yellow door. So you literally just go into the yellow door, you skip the NPC, the fireplace, the shop, everything, and you go straight to the nearest blue door. And then in some of the blue doors, you might get a boss challenge. Make sure you skip the boss challenge. There'll always be 2 options. It's either be like defeat a boss for something, or gain embers, or like no change at all. Make sure you skip the bosses, whatever it is, because they add quite a bit of time to the run. And then the other thing you might see in the blue doors is you might often get some weird mini games, especially the turret mini game. It's going to make you get into a turret and like shoot enemies and stop them from getting to portals. But as soon as you enter the turret, you can literally press escape to exit the turret, and you can end that stage immediately, and you can just run on to the next stage. There'll usually be a blue door as well. But if not, then you just take the yellow door and you skip until you find a blue door. And then once you get to the very last yellow door, just before the boss room, make sure that you purchase anything that's going to give you skill damage or skill range. Focus on those as your main 2 things, because that will help you to increase damage. And then whatever else you can afford if you have some embers left over, because it doesn't matter if you go ahead and spend them, they'll all be reset on the next run anyway. Make sure you check through all the different lamp wicks to see if some of them actually give you set bonuses. You can see down below, some of them might give you special set bonuses, and some of them might actually be really good. So even if the initial thing up top is going to be something random that's not going to help you, maybe the set bonus is going to be something really good. So if it's like melee trigger probability or something, you're never going to use your melee weapon, make sure you pick it up, because that set bonus could actually be really helpful. And then once you're done with your runs and you got a ton of threads, you come on over here to the shop and you just buy out all the coins. Make sure you guys pick up all these things as well, because these are really useful. That one over there is going to give you more coins than this one, but that one does have a limit, unfortunately. This will be resetting in a day and 20 hours. So that's going to be on the weekly reset, and then we can go ahead and stack up a bunch of coins. As you can see, we have a decent amount of coins. Coins is never a worry for us anymore once we hit trial rank 60. The only thing that we got to worry about farming now is Lunar Memento, which I do have an upcoming video of how to farm that at level 60 the most efficient way. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully it helped you out. If it did, please drop a like and sub to the channel. I'm going to leave you guys now with the full demo run in the background, so you can just watch it all happen in real time. Enjoy, and I'll catch you beautiful people on the next one. Augiesaint out.
Sometimes I still hear your voice. Don't shine when there's only satellites. do I feel the ground? Oh, in my heart, you wear a crown. Wish I wasn't late tonight. Stars don't shine when there's only satellite. I feel like hell and you're in paradise. I'm so glad, and yet I'm not. I was too blind to know. I fell harder than I thought when I fell for a demon.
Run free and dive into the sky. Hear the wind crying